Welcome back. If you're new here, my name is Chris and I run Off the Bench, a 3D print manufacturing business where I work with other business owners, startups, and other entrepreneurs to not only launch their products, but do the entire batch runs, whether it's a few hundred units or a few thousand. Today, I want to give you a little bit of a day in the life. I have quite a few things to do. Number one is get some prints started on the H series printers. I'm almost done. I've got 5 prints left to go, but I'll show you that process. I have some Bamboo P1S printers that I need to set up and actually get filled in here, so I'll officially have 10 of these. And then I have a large production run that I've been teasing and talking about that uses all that filament, which needs to get started. And I want to give you a little detailed breakdown of how I'm going to be scheduling all my production runs going forward to keep track of parts, to make sure quality is there, and to make sure I'm meeting the standards of my customers. I am almost done with the production run, and I've assigned these 4 printers to getting this finished. I am using a fleet management software called BAMBuddy right now, and I have that integrated with my production run software, which I'll talk more about in a bit. For those of you who don't know, BAMBuddy requires you to have external storage if you're using something like the H series. So I've got that plugged in. I'll just go ahead and get this formatted. If you don't have external storage, apparently the print jobs will just fail to send. So I experienced that. Thank you, Sam Craft, for the quick little info on that one. Should be all ready to go now. And what I'd like to show you on my side is the work that I've been doing to get this type of stuff set up. So let's jump over onto the computer and I'll give you a closer look. The way I run my shop is that the production run software I have here actually houses all of the client information and is a front to help manage my print farm. And the back end, I have BAMBuddy doing all the heavy lifting for actually sending print jobs. But this makes everything easy. I'll drag and drop a 3MF file into this and can set up how I want to manage the actual production and where things need to go. I just was running this on the P series printers down here, so all I should have to do now is click Send Next Round, and it will ready up and send the correct sliced file over to BAMBuddy, and now those are on their way to the printers themselves. Now, I know I'm gonna get a lot of questions about the software and everything, and I just want you to know that the guides on my website are really designed to be not only a way for you to build this type of tool for yourself in the shop, but also a piece of education to learn how it is done. This software that I'm featuring now is one of the things that I have as a guide on my website, but all the features I'm talking about now, where it's connected up to BAMBuddy, those features are not part of the base software. And they don't need to be, because everyone's use case is a little bit different. So if you're interested in doing what I'm doing, you can start with the guide, you can start building that software, and then just start asking questions, telling Claude or whatever you're using on what types of features that you want, how you want to integrate it, and let Claude do the heavy lifting. Use your brain to really figure out what workflow works best for you, and then use Claude to do all of the actual technical backend and execution. All right, let's go on to some more things. To my surprise, I've had some people ask me about filming the setup of a P1S printer. Now, I've been kind of avoiding this for a little while because I'll be honest with you, after you've set up enough of these, it's not very exciting anymore. It's kind of just another thing to do in the shop. So I haven't needed them until just now. So we're gonna get this puppy set up. I'll show one of them and then I'll just do the other off camera, the other two, because you don't really need to see it. But let's get going here. First off, packaging design is always pretty interesting, and they do a really good job. I have had glass come shattered, but one of the things I like most is you've got these pull tabs on the side, and then you just lift it up, and you got a printer. Ta-da! I guess it is kind of fun. This is a cable for the heating unit on the AMS2. I'd love to know your guys' thought. Do you actually use the heaters on the AMS2 for drying filament? I don't really use it. Why on earth would I buy the Bamboo P1S when the P2S is out? And the answer is, I have a P2S over there. The thing works fine. But here's the reality. For production and business method or business needs, the P1S is a phenomenal machine. It's tried, true, tested. It works great. And honestly, at this point, now that the X2D is out, if you're gonna buy the P2S, why wouldn't you just get the X2D? It's like $100 more, has a dual nozzle, heated chamber, better air filtration. Like there's a whole bunch of reasons why you actually just wouldn't get the P2S. This guy, I'm familiar with the fleet and I already have 7 of them, which means as I'm gonna be running my production farm, which you'll see in a bit, I only have to slice for 1 printer when setting up production runs. That's a big deal. That means less challenges when getting things set up, makes everything simpler. And then last but not least is because of all of the Maker World points and stuff, I effectively got each one of these 3 new ones for $500 with also the July sale. So kind of hard to argue with that price. Time to finally move these guys out of the way. And I remember when I went out and bought a whole bunch of these at the beginning after my business started growing a bit. And I thought it was crazy, and it still is crazy, that my entire business started on just a Bamboo A1 Mini, and now I'm up to, well, once I sell those, it won't be true, but you know, right now I'm over 20 printers in my shop and counting. I feel like every time I get another job, I buy more printers, but that's part of the deal, Okay. So another question, some people say, I put these really close together, how do you manage the poop or the filament that comes out the back? And the answer is, it goes all the way in the back. Here's some, but down there, you can kind of see it. I can access it from the front with a vacuum, and honestly, that's the easiest way to do it. Let it drop to the floor, and then, you know, every once in a while, get a vacuum under there and pick it all up. All right, another one ready to go. I'll set up the other 2 and check in afterward. All right, here we are, guys. There's the 3 new ones. They are currently calibrating right now. I will go ahead and get those connected up to my fleet management software in a bit once that's done. The way I do my production for customers that I have is I actually allocate sections of my print farm to just their products. That way it can be consistent. It makes it easier to schedule and plan what capacity I have at what times, so I can give proper lead times for how long something will take to make. This big production run I'll be doing for a newer partnership I have, I'm going to be just swapping out all the nozzles. We have these, and we'll be putting in brand new 0.4 millimeter hot ends. Just that way I don't have to worry about anything or any color bleed, because I print a lot of black and all 86 of those rolls are white matte PLA. All the printers have been cleaned, and I actually went through and washed all of the plates with Dawn dish soap and Scrub Daddy to get them back to newish. I'll use some 3D lac to kind of refurbish or just give them the bed adhesion during the production run to make sure everything sticks well. Now in terms of maintenance schedule, I get questions about that fairly often, and every time I refresh a production run, those machines get cleaned, they get vacuumed out on the inside of any debris, they get re-lubricated on the rails, they get fully washed and prepped, build plates, and then I'll do a calibration test to make sure that everything's gonna turn out good. Once that's done, then I'll go ahead and load up filament and get the production run started. So let me finish swapping out the nozzles here, and then we can actually start teeing up this production run and seeing what the estimates for timeline are, when it will be done, and get it prepped to start on Monday, which is it's Friday right now, and I'll be recording tomorrow as well. Swapped out, I'll have to keep these because these are all so good that I'll use as backups just in case. Now, I've already connected them to BamBuddy. Let's go ahead and sync them with my production run software. So I can just go down here, click refresh, and you can see now I've got number 8, number 9, and number 10. Nice. Now, every one of my printers, according to my production run software, gets a specific QR code that's a unique identifier. So next we have to print off what that is. I've already got it queued up here, and I will just click print up here. And what this does is it allows me to use my barcode scanner to scan the printer when I swap build plates. What that does is it looks at the current job that's already on the build plate. It then says, yep, that job is done. Please add it to the production run for keeping track of how many units I produced. And then after that, it will go and fetch the next print that is required for that run and ship it off to BamBuddy to then be sent to the printer. Once again, dive back into the computer and check this out. All right, here we are. So let's go ahead and add the new run. So I'm gonna click new run here, and then I'm going to jump in here, and we'll just drag and drop this 3MF file. So I can drop 3MF files in here that are sliced, and it will add all of the different plates with all of the different parts. Now, it already parses how many parts are on each plate, and I know for this part specifically, I need 2 of those needed per assembly. Everything else just needs 1.
Now what's cool is from here, we can go ahead and do a few things. So run name, we'll do MP puzzle body. And then I can do target units, add that in there, and then we can do a start date of the 1st. Now, when I go ahead and select printers, and I'll go ahead and designate all of my P series printers to this production run. Once that's complete, I can go ahead and click create run, and we'll get some additional details. What this shows me is the total logged things that need to be printed. And then down here, it shows me the actual data that we saw a little bit earlier. Print times, I can add them to the queue. I can have a designated QR code that if I wanted to scan this specifically, it would add these plate of units to the production run. Now, trying to figure out where and how to print everything is another challenge. So I've designed a tool that allows me to generate a plan by clicking this button. And this actually splits apart all of the print jobs that are required evenly across the printers, optimized for the printers I have allocated and my working hours. It also looks at filament and tries to identify in certain cases, like right here, where there's a mix of black and white filament. Ideally, it just wants to run the same color filament across all the build plates. Now, here I can actually load up a loading sheet, which tells me what filaments I need to load into which printers, which is really nice. And then it will tell me once those are complete and says, hey, we're doing a little pre-flight checklist. Yes, this printer is good and ready to go. On top of that, you can see each one of these has designated plates. So P1S is gonna print part 2, 31 plates in a row, and then it will switch to part 5, 8 plates. What's fantastic about this setup and having all of these additional details is when I scan my P1S saying that part 2 has been completed, if it's the 31st plate according to the production run and needs to switch to plate part 5, it will automatically know that, and it will automatically queue up that correct part and build plate that's already sliced to the correct printer with the correct filament. It's really excited to use this tool. It's going to make my life really easy in managing these production runs. And not only that, if parts come off the printer and they don't pass inspection and I need to toss them, I can keep track of all that, and I'll actually get scrap rates by part so I can understand what's going wrong. Maybe it's a specific printer, maybe it's the way it's printing, and it will allow me to diagnose some issues and further improve my process. The other thing that's nice is this little mini computer in my shop, since this is just a web-based application, actually has all of this data. So during the day or when I come down in the morning, I can get a pretty good glance at the entire fleet, what's running actively, and what progress I've made on the current outstanding production runs and clients I have available. The last thing I just want to quick touch on is why on earth am I spending all this time developing these tools that seem a little over the top for just a one-man shop? And well, the answer is twofold. Number one, I've found that actually running a print farm of this many printers is very, very easy, relatively, but I've also been doing it for a couple of years with the automation. It really makes me feel like a superpower, superhuman, and being able to get jobs out and not having to slice stuff manually and send it to the correct printers is honestly a lifesaver. You'll spend so much time. I mean, the amount of printer jobs that I have for this one production run is like hundreds and hundreds, and having to manually slice and send that to the correct printer would be just honestly a nightmare. The other piece is I'm thinking long term. What I'm trying to do, and I want to say thanks to Sam Craft for exploring this and kind of giving me this thought process, but is reducing the skill floor. Now with this setup, once a production run is in the queue and ready to go and started, if I ever hire an employee to come help me out, they don't have to know the ins and outs of Bamboo Studio, all the different slicer softwares. All they need to know is how to load spools into the printers, what spools need to go, and that data is already given to me with the spool sheet for each printer. And they need to know how to use this barcode scanner. They pull the plate, scan the barcode, clean it if it needs to be cleaned, make sure the filament's good, and that's it. When it comes to training and getting somebody in the shop who can help out and really make an impact for my business without having to spend all that extra time giving them the nuances of how to use this software and that software,
it really makes things a lot more doable and scalable long term. I'm building the foundation for a very cool and very large business, and I'm so excited to see where we end up in a few years. That being said, if any of this looks interesting to you, feel free to like, subscribe, follow along. I really appreciate everybody on the journey. Thanks again to my subscribers, my Patreon members. I do appreciate it. And if anyone needs help doing production, assembly, or order fulfillment for their own business and products that they're trying to get off the ground, let me know. Shoot me an email on my website and check out the links down below. I'll see you guys next time.